let's continue our look at the behaviors available in Construct 2. This time, we'll be taking a look at the bound to layout behavior. Bound to layout is pretty simple, but can be very useful when making a game. The bound to layout behavior does exactly what its name implies. It bounds an object to a layout, meaning the object can't leave the layout. If the object is in motion and it reaches the edge of the layout, it comes to an immediate stop. An object with the bound to layout behavior applied can never leave the layout. Here I have a layout set up with some woods in the background and a little demon character. I've already added the 8-direction behavior, which we took a look at in the last video, to the demon object so he can fly around the layout. As it is now, I can fly him around the screen and even off the screen. And he can leave the screen in any direction. Bound to layout restricts the object to the layout, preventing it from flying off the screen, like we just did. Let's open up the behaviors and click Add New. From here, I'll select Bound to Layout under General. Now, if I preview the layout and I fly towards the edge of the screen, the demon is stopped right at the edge, and this works for each side of the layout. This seems so simple, but it's actually incredibly useful when you're creating a game. If we didn't have the bound to layer behavior, we'd have to write events and actions that check the position of the player. If the player went too high, we'd reposition him. If he went too far left, we'd reposition him. It would take a considerable amount of events and actions, not to mention the time it takes to write them all. With bound to layout, a couple clicks and the object is always on screen. There's one parameter with the bound to layout behavior, but it's pretty straightforward. In the Behaviors tab, under Bound to Layout, we have the Bound By parameter. It has two options: Edge, which is the default, and Origin. With Edge, the object will be stopped right before an edge of the object leaves the screen. This blue bounding box around the demon is the edge that this refers to. The other option, Origin, will cause the object to stop just before the origin point of the object leaves the layout. The origin point is the point on the image where the image will rotate around. Also, if you set the object's X position to 250 and the Y position to 250, the origin point is the point of the image that is placed at X and Y 250. If I double-click on the demon, I can adjust the origin point by clicking where I would like to place it, or by pressing 1 through 9 on the number pad. When using Bound to Layout with Bound By set to Origin, you can fly towards the edge of the layout, and half of the object will leave the layout until the origin point comes in contact with the edge, and the object is stopped. If I adjust the origin point and set it to the bottom center of the sprite, and I fly down to the bottom of the screen, he's bound to the layout at the bottom of his feet, like he's standing on the ground. In fact, if I go back and adjust the origin point to be right underneath his feet, now when he flies down, his feet are lined right up with the ground. One last thing about Bound to Layout that some people get a little confused about. Bound to Layout bounds an object to the layout, not the screen. A Construct 2 project has a layout size and a window size or screen size. Right now, this project's layout has the same dimensions that the window does. The window size is the size of the window you play the game on, while the layout size is the size of the entire layout. For example, if you were making a side scroller, the layout size would have a much larger width than the window size, as you can scroll side to side and progress through the level. But you can only see a portion of that layout at any one time. The portion you can see is the window size. So, if I go into Project Properties, I can change the window size. I'll cut the width of the window down to 400 pixels. Now, the demon is bound at the top of the layout, the left side of the layout, and the bottom of the layout. But when he flies towards the right side of the screen, he leaves the screen. This is something that I've seen a lot of people confused by, but you have to understand that in this case, the right side of the screen is not the edge of the layout. When the demon moves off the screen, the view doesn't follow him. If the view followed along with the demon, when he reached the other side of the layout, he would still be bound, just like on the other three sides. The difference between layout size and window size is important, Make sure you understand both of them before moving on to the next videos in the series. Thanks for watching. If you found this content helpful, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Comment, like, and share this video, and subscribe for more tutorials. See you next time.